I'm feeling very swishy today. So hi everybody, I hope you're doing really well. Thank you so much everybody who supported me on my last video about body confidence. It was a bit nerve-wracking. Not as nerve-wracking as this video, but yeah, I am really glad that it reached out and helped some of you, and I think it kind of helped me as well in a way, sort of lay things to rest, and yeah, so it was good. And if you've got any more sort of videos that you'd like me to make about body confidence and things like that, then drop them down below and we can create a video together. That would be really cool to get your guys' input as well. So today's video is going to be like a story time video. It's going to be part 1, and then part 2 will follow on from this. And the video is all about my story of having friendships while I was growing up with my disability, being in a wheelchair, and how hard it was. The reason I'm really nervous about this is because not many people know what I really went through. I don't think anyone apart from myself really knows how bad it actually was. So I'm a bit nervous to get it out there. But as you know, Wheelsnoheels is dedicated to making videos about my life with a disability and helping other people feel less alone, the way I did when I was growing up. So let's start from the very beginning. So I had my heart surgery, which led to my spinal cord injury. If you're a bit confused, then check out the video because hopefully that will clear it up for you. So I had my surgery. And then my parents moved me to a smaller all-girls convent school because I was really sick, and they felt that smaller class sizes and all girls would be more nurturing for me and a better environment, which I totally agreed with. And I went and visited the school, the junior school, and it was beautiful, really, really lovely. And the class sizes were really small, about 12 girls in a class, and I've always been a very outgoing, confident, friendly person, I think. I like to make friends with people, and I don't find it hard to make friends. And I managed to make a couple of friends within the class, and it was all lovely, and I had the best couple of years in the junior school. I had an amazing teacher who helped me because I was almost illiterate at the age of 12, and she helped me, and yeah, it was really good. I forgot to mention, because I had missed so much school, I was actually put back a year. So I was a year older than everybody else, and because I was an older child, my birthday was November, so I was almost 2 years older than some of the girls, because I mean I would turn 13 in the November, and some of them would have only just turned 12 in, say, the September, if that makes sense. So almost 2 years older than some girls, which was a struggle, which we're going to later find out in just a minute. So yeah, junior school was fine. But then it was time to leave junior school and go to high school, or senior school as it's called over here. And so that was in a different building and a little bit bigger. The class sizes were still really small, like 15, 12 girls. But lots of new girls had joined from other schools around the county. And it was almost like it changed overnight. So there I was, like 13, with some of these girls had literally just turned 12. I had this, like, I was so self-conscious of my body, like my legs, just myself. And people would point things like, why is like that? Why are you like this? Why, you know, and it just makes you feel awful. And I really struggled to make friends. And you just couldn't do right. Like, if you said it was black, they would say it was white. If you said you liked something, they didn't like it. When you knew, deep down, yesterday, they were just talking about that thing and they said, yes, they really did like it. They were just being awkward for the sake of it. And then there was this one occasion, and I can't, you know, I don't know why, but she just pushed me and pushed me over, and I was like, why did you do that? And she laughed and ran off. And I was like, why did you do that? And to this day, I have no idea why she did it. Now that might not sound like too bad, but it was horrible to be pushed over and laughed at and not knowing why or what you've done and thinking this person was your friend. It was so weird. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible time. And looking back, to be honest, I don't think any of the girls were happy. I think everybody struggled. I really don't know what went wrong. I felt like sometimes it was because I was older and more mature than everybody else. Like, I didn't think I was better than anyone else, don't get me wrong. But I had to grow up quite quickly. I had hospital appointments, doctor's appointments, had to speak to all kinds of specialists from the age of 9, maybe younger than that actually. So I learned how to communicate with adults from a very young age, and I sort of grew up quickly as a result of that. And I always found that I got on better with older people, like girls older than me. And so I think maybe because some of them were so immature, I found that quite hard. And yeah, it was awful. It was such an awful, awful time. I actually stopped eating pretty much and lost loads and loads of weight. And a little bit of self-harm as well. I just didn't know what to do. It was just so awful. I would just come home and like stare into space and not have a clue as to what to do. And I'd just cry myself to sleep, and I would ask my parents and some of the teachers as well. I was like, I don't understand, like, why? What am I doing wrong? Why can't I fit in? But yeah, it was a really tough time, and I did, on a few occasions, think about ending it, because I literally couldn't go on. I really couldn't. But it's like, you know, everything that I've been through, surely high school is not going to finish me off. When I was writing my TED talk, which you're welcome to go and watch, when I was writing for my TED talk, it's all about my life and why I started my channel. And I talk about how there was a moment when I was looking at social media, and I was looking at this was only a couple of years ago, and I was looking at other people in wheelchairs and other paraplegics and people with disabilities, when something clicked inside me and I get emotional, and I just looked at them and I was like, that's like me. Like, they're like me, their legs are like me, their wheelchairs are like me. And like, I didn't feel so ashamed of who I was. I didn't feel like I had to hide myself, and I feel like really proud of who I am now. And that feeling of, that sense of that's like me, was missing when I was at school. Like, there was no social media, there was nobody in the public eye with a disability that I could sort of identify myself with or relate to. Like, I just thought I was like some weird alien creature that no one wanted to be friends with. And you know, if you are not really content and happy and sure of who you are, then surely it's going to be quite hard for people to know you and accept you for who you are if you're constantly trying to search and find out who you are, if that makes any sense. So I think that's why I struggled so much. That's why if you see the sort of front introduction on my YouTube channel, you see disability lifestyle videos, so no one has to feel alone. Hashtag that's like me, because I had that sense of, oh, that's like me, so no one has to feel alone. So that's why I have that hashtag. Wow, I'm going really giddy. Whew. I think I've come good now. So I was at the convent struggling, and it actually got to a point where it was so bad I couldn't take it anymore. I had to leave. I had to at least try another school. And lots of people said, you know, to be honest, your problems will follow you if you don't sort them out. And to a degree, it kind of did follow me. I still found it hard to make friends, so I moved to another school, which was co-ed. So there were boys there, because I thought, you know, the girl environment and bitchiness might be a little bit more mellowed in a mixed environment. So I moved to a co-ed school, and it was still hard and still a struggle, and people still treated me exactly the same. And a bit like an alien, said mean things. I still struggled. I did actually manage to make a few friends, which made it better. But I actually made friends with girls in the year above. So they were my age because I was held back a year. And they were really great actually. And that sort of confirmed, like, maybe it's because everybody, I need people my own age, because, you know, when you're younger, a year makes a huge difference. Like, when you're older and you move on and stuff, a year is nothing, and I've got friends all ages now. But when you are growing up at school, I think a year makes a huge difference, if not two, as I said. But then the end of the year came, and these girls were getting ready to leave school, and I thought, if they leave school, I'm screwed, because nobody in my actual class will talk to me or get to know me, and again, just so awkward for the sake of being awkward, and just so awful. I think I've said awful like a million times, but I just don't know how to get it across, and how much I struggled and how upset I was. Yeah, I thought, if they leave, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I had a little think, and I looked into leaving school early, because technically I was at school leaving age. I was just down here. So I thought, well, how about I do my final exams at college, where all my friends are going. So I looked into it, and it was possible. So I didn't properly graduate high school, but I did my final exams at college, and oh my god, guys, like, this was a massive turning point for me. I left school, so yeah, I was 16, left school, went to college. I started driving, because in the UK you can start driving at 16 if you're registered disabled. Started driving. We didn't have to wear uniforms, so I could wear my own clothes and feel a bit more confident with what I was wearing. And everyone was so much more mature, and made so many friends, and we did so many great things. And yeah, it was just the biggest turning point. And I actually sort of started to be known as Gem at college. Didn't want people to know me as Gemma, because Gemma was the really sad, lonely, depressed, unknown person at school. But Gem is the person you see in front of you today, who is happy, who has made friends, and who has come through it. And when I was at college, I made friends with all of these people who were like really gothy and emo, and yeah, like really hardcore metal fans. And yeah, I do kind of like that music, not to the extent that some of those people like the music, but we used to go to rock nights, and we used to go to raves, and oh my god, we did all kinds of things. And these guys, they were so great, and they would, like, if we couldn't get anywhere accessible, they'd be like, no worries, we can make it work. Like, some of them, they were like really big guys, and they would just like scoop me up, carry me upstairs. It would be in horrendous states in my wheelchair after a long night of partying, and they would just like wheel me back across Brighton to like their houses and stuff, and yeah, it just didn't matter. Like, it was so lovely to finally be accepted by a group of people and to know that it wasn't me. It's not, I don't think it was me. Or maybe I had grown and I knew who I was. So like, yeah, it was such an amazing turning point. And sometimes I wonder, like, because I made friends with the gothy, emo, rock kind of kids who were maybe had been at schools and they had been seen as sort of outsiders and a bit misfitty and a bit, you know, emo gothy. So they kind of knew what it was like to have a disability, like not a disability, so they kind of knew what it was like to be sort of not cool and sort of left out and just don't really care. As long as someone's nice to you, it shouldn't really matter like what the person is into. So that's my story. Feel free to leave your stories down below, or how you struggled at school, or how you are struggling at school, and see if anybody can help you. I do like to try and give some advice in my video, or help try and fix a problem that you guys might be trying to look to solve. But to be honest, in this video I think it's more about sharing my experiences to help you feel less alone. I don't know if I can say, right, this is what you need to do and everything will be fine, because I don't know if there is an answer to it. I think, you know, you just, all I can say is, from my experience, hold on, keep your head down, because it does get better. It really does. That's all I can say. So, that's my story. Thanks very much for watching. Yeah, thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. As I said, this is part 1. In part 2, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about friendships, and I'm also going to be talking about sort of things that I can recognise now to see as a bad or a toxic friendship, because I was quite blind to it back at school, and sort of actually into my late 20s, very blind, and people would just like walk all over me because I was used to it. So I want to share some sort of ideas of what makes a good friend and what makes a bad friend, because maybe you might not be able to recognise it the way that I couldn't recognise it when I was younger. So in my next video I'm going to be talking about sort of those things, like good friends, what makes a good friend and what makes a bad friend, and what you can look out for and sort of evaluate for yourself. Oh, I'm waffling! So yeah, I really hope to see you in my next video. Take care!